innovators. So he's also an award, the latest being about personal branding. But we have to talk though. Which had over 1,000 downloads in the first week of its release. Are you guys excited to hear from Mofe? Yeah. Awesome. I am as well. So here he is.
Hi, good morning. I'm glad to be here this morning and to share some of the tips that we've learned over the time. I'm Ufeadi, managing partner of Everything Arts, not co-founder, she's the founder, I'm the managing partner. So this morning we're here to share tips that we can use to build our online communities as personal brands or as businesses. I'm here to share the story that helped us create an hashtag, Everything Arts, that currently has 47,000 posts under it. I'm here to share the story of how you can create a tribe around your personal brand. So for us to start, we'll go back in time. Now, there's a particular phrase that most of us must have heard at one point in our life. And immediately I say the phrase, if you know it, I want you to tell me the next thing that comes after it. Story. Once upon a time. God bless you. Now, when we're all children, we all like that time when our parents or our elder sibling will call us and say, I have a story, a folklore about art, a moral at the end of it, right? Right, story about courage, where under his art, right? Already the rabbit beating the lion in the race. There was always one story there that everybody liked at a particular point, and immediately they began the story, we all fell in love with it. Now, however, we, the children that love those stories, we have evolved, and we are no more that little child. In fact, I'm sure that everybody here must have heard the story of how the spider killed the elephant by spinning web in the trunk of the elephant. So now, the venue has changed. We are no longer sitting down under the tree, children looking at our father, waiting for the next story. We're no longer under the tree. Can someone tell me where we are now? Awesome. So now the platform has changed. Now, instead of under the tree, we're with our phones. Now, instead of children, we're now adults or adolescents, some of us. And but we still love stories. Why? Because stories connect to the inner part of us. Stories keep us engaged. Where would you rather get your information? For instance, we have the coronavirus, and somebody said that, okay, I want to learn more about it. Then you have two articles. You have a Wikipedia article, then you have an article from BuzzFeed. You agree with me that the approach from both of them will be different, right? So now, why? Because you find a way to storify coronavirus and make us understand it immediately. Now, does this affect us? Okay, I've done this. And these are just images from things that we've done, a little bio on us, which shares very part of it. Now, the first step is to conduct your research. For people in this room, we can be divided into two broad categories. We have the personal brand and we have the businesses. And of course, we have those that merge that two. So if you're a personal brand, please let me see your hand up. Personal. If you run a business, and if you run the two, wow, almost all of us. So we have a lot to learn today. So now, social media is very wide. For instance, we have 1 billion active users on Instagram. Largest category being 18 to 24 years, with 52% women, and most of them being in urban locations. For the rural cities, most of them are Facebook, and of course, the top country is United States. However, as everybody can attest, everybody here can attest to the fact that most of us in this room have the Instagram app on our phone, right? Now, Instagram has replaced Facebook gradually when it comes to engaging content. They might not have the numbers yet, the amount of users they have. However, when it comes to engaging content, Instagram remains unbeaten. Now, I have just 15 minutes and I've spent 4 minutes telling you story. So now let's move to the nitty-gritty. Now, we cannot talk about Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and everything. So for the next few minutes, I'll just pick Instagram and how you can build a community out of Instagram. Now, how does one conduct his research on Instagram, and why is this important? Now, imagine that older man that we saw in the first slide. Says tonight, when I'm going to and he waits there 9. Only one child is there, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and only 2 children are there. In fact, when 2 children come, they see that nothing is happening and they move. There is no audience for him to tell his story, so his story becomes useless, right? So for every business to now, how do I know how to get my community? Now, the first place is user research. If you are taking notes, this is the best time to start. I'm sure a lot of us in this room have heard about target audience, right? So now the first thing you need to do is figure out who my target audience is. The target audience for Mercedes-Benz is definitely different from target audience of a cosmetics company. Now, how do I find that audience? The fastest way to do this is to go to similar accounts on Instagram. Your target audience. So for instance, if I want to bring a new an Ankara fashion brand, I'll go to one big brand I know that does this already. Then the fastest way to also find similar accounts to it is just use the arrow at the right side of the account, tap it, then you see similar accounts based on it. However, if you're somebody that you don't follow back people, instead of seeing similar accounts for top accounts, you see people that you don't follow back, so you want to be careful of that. Now, what am I saying on that account? You're searching for 2 things basically, and a gold mine on that page is the comment section. Now, I'm sure that most of us, after we see a post on Note or Instablog, the next place we go to is where? For comment section, and we see one comment that has like 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes. Why? Because that comment resonates with the person. Instablog, they're in the entertainment brand. Now you might wonder, okay, I sell shoes. How do I get that kind of community? Now you need to find the top shoe brand in that space and find out where people are living. Which post has the highest likes? Which post has the highest comments? Basic things. Find data. Someone says that data never lies. So from there you can find the kind of content that. Another way to find content that also resonates with them is going to the tagged post of that person's account, which is very easy to do. Now, what can you find from there? Now, from that place, especially for big brands, you notice that competitors always tag the big brands in that section of it. Now, the beauty of this is that you can also see people that are in that space, which will be useful later. I will mention that point as well. Also, you can also see people that are aspiring to be associated with that brand. For instance, a big comedian, once you go to his tag post, you see smaller comedians, right? Now, from there, you are seeing people that can be interested in your community when you start building it. Now, a very important question is, how long does it take to build an audience? Answer fits all, definitely. However, from experience, the best time is to use 3 to 5 hours daily over a span of 3 months. Now, this happens even if you don't have an existing audience. In fact, you start this research before you open an Instagram account. And if you have an Instagram account, you start immediately. Why 3 to 5 hours? 3 to 5 hours because you spend approximately 12 hours being awake. Some people spend longer, some people spend shorter. Now, during this time, those 3 to 5 hours, when you go to your analytics, your Instagram account, you can see the time you're most active. From there, you can see the top hours that you can be there. Now, what are you doing during those hours? During those hours, you're going to your competitor's Instagram account, you're going to your competitor's comment section, trying to see what kind of content resonates with their audience. Now, when it comes to community building, especially one thing that we hear over the time is that I do not have enough time, which is where the community manager comes in. Now, the purpose of a community manager is to do all these things for you in a particular period of time so that you can keep on running your business. It is highly advised that if you can afford one, you get a community manager. There are plenty of spaces that you can find community managers, and one of them is the account called Tribe Called ENA. Tribe Called ENA is an Instagram account by us where we have a community of freelancers, creatives, social media influencers, and all of them. Now, the beauty of that is that these community managers have spent time owning their craft. They know the kind of content that resonates with your audience, and they know best time to post and all the best practices. So using community managers actually helps you create your own community in a very accelerated period of time. However, for personal brands that might not have the funds to sponsor one, you can also begin to learn from online tutorials. So now, what is the best way to get this community? Offer unexpected value. The best way to gain the community in a short period of time is by offering something of value. Now, this value is different based on the based on your industry, of course. For an entertainment brand, the value they offer is comedy, things to while away time. Now, for a fashion brand, my offer, for instance, could be tutorials on how people can pair their clothes. For a car brand, the value you could offer could be little ways to fix your cars. Now, that value should be now distributed in all forms of content. So you have the videos, you have the images, you have your podcasts, you have your YouTube videos and everything. But on Instagram, you could divide them mainly into videos, images, and your Instagram stories. Now, in this phrase here, you see we have unexpected. Over time, many people have discovered that the best way to gain a community is to offer value to them, which is why your value needs to be unexpected. Now, a quick example. When I released my book on personal brand, I remember I sent it to Anyanwu, and she said that, how much are you selling this book for? And she said, like 10,000 naira, right? I said, no, I'm giving it free. We're texting, like immediately I said I'm giving it free. She called me, like, are you serious? Are you giving it free? I'm like, yes. Why? Because the information there to some people was like pure gold. However, when you look at it, the best way for people to come over is for you to prove what you can offer to them. And imagine if you are putting all that into one book and saying, oh, take it free of charge. However, you're not making it free to air. You get the content by providing an email form where they can put in their email. So now you've changed the currency from actual naira, which many people might not be able to afford. People actually need the information about personal branding to just their email. And with that, you get a community which you can later convert to. So ask yourself, in my space that I am, what my competitors have done during the research period that I've carried out, what are those things they've done? What are those freebies they've given out? What is the value that they've given out? And how can I multiply that value? How can I make people say that, oh, have you seen this new Instagram account? Their content is good. That is unexpected value. Now, what is the need? Why do you need to offer unexpected value? You need to offer unexpected value because that is the only way for them to stay focused to you in your community rather. So imagine you want to hear a story, for instance, from somebody, and the person begins, once upon a time, report. You roll your eyes like, oh, we've heard this already. Which is why your value needs to be unexpected. Now, on this same topic of unexpected value, there are some things that you need to note, especially when you're on Instagram. Now, the first being the goal, the eventual goal. Now, what is the need of a community that does not convert? Many of us here are aware of the marketing funnel. Well, for the only funnel, just like the funnel that used to fulfill stages, the widest is about awareness. Awareness. Who knows my brand? That's the first stage. Now, just like the top of the funnel, it is the widest part, which means that during this community building process, the first thing is to make people aware of your brand using those value pieces. Now, the next stage is engagement. Now, thank you. Engagement. Now, engagement, as you can see, is smaller, which means that the amount of will actually reduce as you're going down the funnel. And the last part is conversion, which is the tiniest part. Conversion are those people that now actually purchase your product, those people that actually make inquiry about your business and so on. Now, the goal on Instagram after building this community is to ensure to the bottom of your generator account that you get CR alerts. Now, how do I convert a community to that engaging audience? Now, from experience, when managing different brands, you notice that most people say, I have so many followers. I have DMs, people are making inquiries, but people are not paying. Why is that? Because the ultimate goal is for you to take them off Instagram. How do you do this? Now, for us that we offer educational pieces for people, Amin started a WhatsApp group years ago where she offered free information to people. She had a link in her bio where when you sign up, you join their class for free. We had thousands of people that joined that class. And one of them is an Instagram influencer called Selim. Now, Selim started out not knowing what he wanted to do with his personal brand. However, over time, he converted his energy into creation. And now he has 19,000 followers, even to the point that he's creating videos like this on Follow Selim. Now, what does this mean? We were able to get people off Instagram into that niche community. This is the page I was talking about earlier. I tried to call the end. You can see some of the content that is there basically. Now, how can you do that? Now, the first step to do that is by creating a landing page outside Instagram. What is the essence of this landing page? The landing page, if you remember earlier, I mentioned something about gated content, right? Now, gated content is basically where you put a barrier before somebody gets that unexpected value. Now, imagine that when you're about to enter this venue today, everybody will enter free of charge. This place will fill with people, right? However, there's a problem. So that's why you see the bouncers right there, making sure that you can't come in without your badge. Now, the essence of the gated content is to create a form right there where the person can put that email. That extra step removes those that will give you problem to those that will actually convert because you know they are actually interested in that content. Do you agree? Yeah. Now, how can you create a landing page? The two top tools we've noticed is one by using MailChimp and two by using HubSpot forms. HubSpot forms. HubSpot forms, HubSpot forms, and MailChimp. Now, both of them have close to the same function. Now, for those that follow Amin, she is very known for saying build an email list. Why? Because last, Instagram is not your playing field. What happens in 10 years' time when something happens and Instagram is gone? What happens to your 100K followers? What happens to your 1K comments? What happens to your 1,000 likes in one? An email list is the ultimate place where you can capture all your leads. In fact, if you were to follow the saying all roads lead to Rome, your email list is that Rome. Now, the essence of your gated content is to now pick people from that community where you can use to build that email list, which will actually convert later. Now, apart from your email list, you can also have a website where you offer a higher form of content. You'll have a YouTube channel where you offer more content based on it. All the things just offering unexpected value to them. Now, how can we use Instagram? A recap. So now I'm going to mention quick tools. I'm running out of time already. So here's some quick tips you can use directly on Instagram. Now, let's do a walkthrough. Okay, so I'm Ufe, the page owner. You are Tomiwa from Twitter, and you come and okay, I like what this guy is doing. I want to join this community. So I follow him. The first thing I do, I see the new follow. I go to a function called Quick Replies on Instagram. I compose a message saying, "Hi Tomiwa, here is welcome to my page. I offer so content." Obviously, not putting Tomiwa there. Now, what happens is when you go to your Instagram message with Tomiwa and you tap it, and you hold down the icons on your right, you see an icon which looks like a message blob. You tap it, your quick reply automatically comes up, and you can send a message to Tomiwa. In Tomiwa's mind, he thinks that, Ufe likes me, not that his quick replies. Now, what this means is that it gives Tomiwa a sense of belonging to the community. What is the next thing I can do? Engaging stories, unexpected Instagram live videos. And in fact, if I want to make my community more gated, I can say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Always like my comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I must have turned on post notifications. So I go to my Instagram stories and I say, I'm going to create a close friends feature. And with that close friends, I say, wow, you guys are part of my community. You guys are the people in my inner circle. So when you see stories from me with the green circle, you feel more associated with the community than normal people. And on that close friends feature, you can offer higher value content. What does this mean? This means that this person has higher chances of converting eventually when you want to put in the sale. Now, from little tips like this, you can ensure that you can actually build a community on Instagram. Now, also using best practices like always where you see comments and you just ignore it has gone. In fact, the first 1 hour immediately after you actually determines whether that post does well or not. Best practices like this will ensure that you can start laying the seed and will ensure that a community on Instagram can be built.
Thank you so much, Mofe.